mean, we are getting a full comprehensive Miami Heat trade, a trade, a preview show, I guess. Now, the real preview show is SiriusXM NBA Radio. You're co-hosting with Brian Geltzeiler on Thursday, 2 p.m., right?
2 p.m. to 4 p.m. time. Yes, for sure. As we are on Geltzeiler and I, so that is exactly right. So looking forward to that. As I got, by the way, I have a whole other thing for you. I have a
All right,
whole other
let me
thing.
hear another thing. Let me hear another thing, because then I got another thing for you. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's another thought that I have here. All right, the other thought that I had was the Phoenix Suns. Let's just talk about them for a second. So that is a team that has widely been considered a team that everyone thinks if Durant asks out again, they have all their picks, they have a new ownership, a new governorship group,
Yeah.
and and they have young players and Bridges and Cam Johnson. They have the Jay Crowder contract, obviously, if it happens this year, which I don't know that it's going to happen this year. So then they lose Crowder. Let's talk about the Suns for a second. So when Rudy Gobert goes for 5 picks, Donovan Mitchell goes for 3+3 swaps, that's going to set the market. Durant's going to go for 3 to 5, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
So the Suns need more than what they actually have. Would you trade Kyle Lowry in a first for Chris Paul right now? Basically, the Suns
Yeah.
are getting a wash.
Yeah.
Lowry and Paul are the same for them
Yeah.
for now, right?
Yeah.
Lowry is actually more beneficial for them next year because he's guaranteed, where Chris Paul is actually not, and they pick up an extra pick from the Heat.
Right.
And the Heat then would have, if they didn't like what happened here with Chris Paul, hypothetically, you could save money theoretically next year by
I would
just.
totally do that. Yeah, I would totally do that. Yeah.
And do you think the Suns would do that?
Uh, if they thought that they had a Durant deal on the horizon and they needed an extra pick, yeah, then of course they would.
And a $28 million salary slot.
And I mean, and apparently they were offering up Chris Paul and a potential Kyrie Irving deal, which actually doesn't surprise me because you got to remember the GM is James Jones, who played with Kyrie in Cleveland, so there's a relationship there. Maybe it feels like, hey, everything will be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to correct you on one word, and this I don't even care if this is insulting. I don't think Kyrie Irving needs a relationship. I think Kyrie Irving, you have to have babysitters. LeBron James is a babysitter for him. James Jones is a babysitter. He's a baby the way he acts, right? Other people like Ben Simmons, I'm not hard on because in terms of the way I would be with Kyrie, because I think Ben Simmons has stuff that he can't control. I think Kyrie is fully aware of what's going on here.
Oh yeah.
And does all of it. But yeah, so I just, again, we keep coming back to these. Where are the distressed assets that could make more sense for the Heat than Kyle Lowry?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what it boils
really
down to.
what it is. And by the way, just one other thing on the Charlotte one, where I keep coming back to this ridiculousness, maybe with
Hayward.
With Hayward, there's a way of looking at it with Hayward, because Hayward's at 30. You could theoretically move Dedmon, Robinson, Strus, and Yurtsevin, and I would think you would have to give a first rounder in that, and that's straight up for Hayward. It works.
But then, but you got to clear roster spots. They would want to send other guys, wouldn't they? Because they're just gonna have to cut guys and eat money. Nobody wants to do that.
No, but that's why I don't think it would necessarily be a 2-team deal. I think it could be a 3-team deal. I mean, Miami would be adding money in that spot, but there's ways of doing it. I'm saying that's just the basis for it. But again, gettable, right? And the other guy I want to get in people's heads, and I know this has been reported, and I've been saying this for now a week or two. My anticipation is that Russell Westbrook will probably be with the Heat by the time the season is over. Not by way of trade.
Well, how about, I brought this up on Twitter yesterday. LeBron goes on television, does this interview with Michael Wilbon, and talks about how disappointed he is that his team didn't acquire Kyrie Irving. Isn't that the same thing as saying I'm disappointed we kept Russell Westbrook?
Let's go further. LeBron James went on television yesterday telling everybody he's mad at his team for not trading the guy that he acquired for the guy that got rid of him.
Right.
I mean, think about that. That's the worst teammate move. Everybody talks about how bad of a fit Russ is with the Lakers. How bad of a teammate is LeBron to do this like this? It's horrible.
Yeah, he just straight up goes and tells everyone on television, I'm mad that we kept Russell Westbrook. I don't know. It's kind of insulting, man.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I just think that it's such a nasty thing to do. And even if everybody knows, oh, Russ is not a good fit, LeBron's the one that got him. And he's the one that went out and got him. And I don't know. I'm so sick of the antics with that. This is not to say he's not a great player. He's the all-time scoring leader, et cetera, he's going to be. But this kind of stuff, when he says maybe it's me, you know what? In some cases it is. Mm-hmm. In some cases, you didn't realize how great you had it in Miami. And I understand you wanted to win a championship for Cleveland. Guess what? Cleveland doesn't care that much about that title. They care way more about a Browns playoff appearance than they do a Cavs title, okay? It is you when you're meeting with Riley in Vegas and you're watching soccer instead of talking to him. Right? That is you. It is you when you don't thank the Heat the way that you should thank the Heat. It is you when you're in Cleveland and you refuse to commit long-term, and so nobody's going to join you because they don't know if you're going to be there. It is you when you go out and get Russell Westbrook and then blame the Lakers for not trading Russell Westbrook. Sometimes it is you. And it's also you, by the way, to become arguably the second greatest player of all time. So there's certainly way more good than bad, but you know what, LeBron? It is you sometimes.
I'll get a lot of, oh, ZASLOW, you didn't feel this way. You weren't saying this when he played for the Heat. Guess what? He wasn't like this when he played for the Heat. He was not the same guy, and by the way, every one of us in our late 20s compared to our late 30s are a different kind of person. LeBron was not like this when he was here. It wasn't the same guy.
You're right. And by the way, I'm in the minority on this, and I'm wrong. I didn't want him. I wanted to beat him. I wanted to beat him. I remember interviewing Dwayne Wade on ESPN 106.3, ESPN West Palm. And I remember, this is before LeBron joined the Heat, having an argument with Dwayne Wade as to who's better, LeBron or Wade. Wade argued LeBron. I argued Wade against Wade.
And he got mad at you.
Pro Wade I was.
He got mad at you.
He got mad. He's like, have you watched this guy play? I said, yeah, I'd rather you in a big moment than him. And he starts laughing at me as I'm fighting with Dwayne Wade that he's better than LeBron. But LeBron has made his bed here. He's got to be able to sleep in it.
Is LeBron, are we going to have a scenario where LeBron eats 36 points tonight? Let's say he has a big night. He goes for the 36, gets he gets it late in the fourth quarter of a close game. Are we stopping the game and doing a whole ceremony with 90 seconds left in a tight game?
He ain't doing it tonight.
Yeah, no, I think he's doing it Thursday.
He's had this exact day. He's done the math. He's done how many games he needs to miss.
Now, is he doing it Thursday because he wants to do it against Giannis, or is he doing it Thursday for what I believe he wants to do it against Kareem's old team?
100%. Second one. I don't think there's no LeBron-Giannis connection right now, is there?
Just because, hey, you're the best player? Well, hey, listen, I'm still the guy.
Now,
I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
When you think about LeBron rivals, so to speak, it's the Warriors. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the rival for LeBron.
Which is the game right after the Bucks, by the way.
But no Steph, so it's irrelevant at that point for him. So I think in this case, he's had it circled to do it against this team.
He's got this beef with Kareem.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that. I mean, there's an untold kind of not loving each other kind of thing. Yep. And by the way, I'm Team Kareem because I think Kareem's way more right than wrong with a lot of things he says. And LeBron picks and chooses his spots, and Kareem, is willing to comment on anything.
Yeah.
LeBron says, have that same energy, hold me to all of this. Well, how come nobody's asking him about his love for Deshaun Watson? How come? I mean, you want to defend Kyrie in that spot. I mean, give me a freaking break.
No, I mean, come on. I've been at this with LeBron for a long time here. LeBron sends out the tweets. We must protect our strong black women. You're standing on the side, yucking it up, dapping up Mikal Bridges. Give me a break. Oh, Miles Bridges. Excuse me. I don't want to confuse the two. You're there yucking it up with Miles Bridges because he's in clutch. Come on. I can't handle it.
By the way, you just brought up a name. How desperate are the Lakers?
Yeah, I guess they're desperate.
I'm saying Miles Bridges.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's clutch. He's with Clutch Sports, so it's okay.
I know. I'm just saying, I don't know how desperate they get, but I don't know. I think this deadline has a chance to be really, really good.
I hope so.
I thought the Kyrie thing was going to get people just kind of moving immediately. We saw last night the reports on Monday night, that there was a chance that Nets-Mavs deal was not going to happen as two teams. It was going to happen as three teams, which got me excited kind of what's next. By the way, the third team that was reported by Mark Stein and others, Hall of Fame writer, were the Raptors. And the Raptors and the Bulls feel like the teams that are going to hold the cards to, are they going to be willing to break it up a little bit? And I do think we got to think about the Raptors with one thing. So if the Raptors want to blow it up, I think everybody is going to respect Masai Ujiri and Nick Nurse and kind of what they've done for that organization. But I've always thought the best way to do the blow up is to disguise it publicly. And what's the best way of disguising it publicly if you're the Raptors? Bring Lowry back. Don't focus on who's not here. Focus on who is here, right? When the Heat were not that good for those couple of years pre-Jimmy, we didn't notice because Dwayne came back.
Right.
We didn't notice.
The Heat missed the playoffs one of those 2 years when they brought Wade back.
We didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even acknowledge that because Dwayne came back, right? Yeah. It was the perfect disguise. And Dwayne to Miami is way greater than Lowry to Toronto. But if you're going to go out there and theoretically trade Siakam and Van Vliet and OG, I mean, isn't like, hey, Kyle's back, homecoming, as you're losing all the games the rest of the way?
Yeah. It's like, give us something to root for. You know, I'd like to cheer for Kyle Lowry again the final 30 games.
How do you get in the Wembayama sweepstakes and still have your fans?
You play Kyle Lowry 48 minutes. You're right there.
And bring a hometown guy, or not home. I know he's from Philly, but you get what I'm saying. Your home team guy back.
Yep.
It's kind of, I mean, so keep an eye on that. You know,
if he's got a personal situation going, Kyle Lowry, he'd probably love to be back in Toronto.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I'm just saying, if you've made the decision, and in that case, I don't think the Heat are going to get, a ton back, but let's just play with it for a second. So let's just say they were to trade Siakam somewhere, and Van Vliet somewhere, and OG somewhere, right? I'm saying you literally could be trading them Kyle Lowry and get back Chris Boucher, Thaddeus Young.
And a second-round pick.
And, exactly. And you just get depth at the power forward spot, and that doesn't work. You need to add a little bit more. Malachi Flynn, whatever it is, Kem Birch, I don't know, something, right? Mm-hmm. So I just keep an eye on, I wonder if they blow it up, is the disguise bringing Lowry back?
What a trade preview show. Lastly, with the NBA, and then I got one thing for you on the Super Bowl. I got one thing on the Super Bowl. Last thing here with the NBA. The Kyrie Irving trade, forget about he's a head case. I wouldn't go anywhere near him.
Unemployable, Zaz.
Yeah.
Unemployable.
Yeah, totally with you. Totally with you. I do think, I talked about, hey, there's a level of arrogance where it's all Heat culture can fix this guy. I do think it's kind of wild where the Mavericks look at this guy's resume. They see everything he's left in his wake, and they're like, yeah, we're going to make it work. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that?
I think some guys signal the beginning of the end for some things. When James Harden was acquired by the Sixers, I said, this is the beginning of the end for Embiid. It may not be now, it may not be later.
You still believe that?
I still believe that because I believe they will fall short in the playoffs. And I believe at some point Embiid will get frustrated. Doesn't look good right now because they look great right this second. Same thing here. This is the beginning of the end in my mind for Luka with the Mavs.
Yeah,
it's not going to be this year. It may not be next year, but inevitably, when this doesn't work out because Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic looks around and says, what happened here? We will date this back to that moment. I'll go one step further. Mm-hmm. If Kyrie Irving didn't ask out and the Nets were offered this deal and he wanted to stay, I would still make this deal if I'm the Nets. I thought it was a great deal for them.
I thought it was a good deal for the Nets.
It gives them phenomenal flexibility at the one thing that everyone needs that we've spent an hour talking about, that 3-and-D kind of wing that can really defend. I mean, you look at that Nets roster, Kevin Durant is the best in the league, obviously, at that kind of, however you want to debate it. But Durant fits that mode. Simmons is not 3, but Simmons, if he plays, can hopefully for them do something. Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal. I mean, Utah Watanabe has been great for them. TJ Warren and Kessler Edwards, who was actually good last year, never plays. Just at guys that could play that 3-4 spot, they are loaded. And that's the position that everybody in the league wants because you could play 3 of those guys, right? When we were growing up, you could only play 2 forwards. Now in the league today, you could play 3 on either end. Small ball 5, a big 2, however you want to do it. Everyone wants those wings. The Nets are loaded with them.
How about the Mavericks? The Mavericks chose Kyrie Irving when they could have had Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, and a first-round pick. What kind of logic is that?
Crazy. Crazy. You want another one I was thinking about? And now this may go against the Russell Westbrook theory, but if he gets bought out, that I could see him going to the Heat. Couldn't you see Goran, if they trade Kyle, ending up back here as a buyout?
Yeah, because the Bulls suck. Yeah, sure.
Back up.
Yeah.
Have him around.
Yeah.
That's
also part of what really bothers you. Like, yes, what bothers me so much about Lowry. That's also part of what really bothers me is this is the guy that we've gotten, and the guy that we traded away for him might have his jersey in the rafters one day at Miami-Dade Arena.
That's an interesting one. Does Goran get his jersey retired?
It's definitely a maybe. Definitely a maybe. He's at worst the second best point guard the team's ever had.
Right. I'm saying so right now, Haslam is next, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bam will end up with his jersey retired.
Yeah, but I mean, we're so far down the road with that one. Like, it's Haslam's next, and then
LeBron will have his jersey retired, which I actually have no problem with, even though I'm not a LeBron fan, as people have just heard. Mm-hmm. Jimmy should get his jersey retired at some point.
But again, that's very far down the road.
Yeah. Would Goran get his jersey retired?
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Very possible.
They love him. They love him. So, I mean, and rightfully so. He gave everything.
Look, he's the second best point guard in team history. He was here longer than Tim Hardaway. He was here longer than Hardaway.
Yeah, that's weird to think about.
Yeah.
That's weird to think about.
Yeah.
What's the Super Bowl one?
Okay. We haven't done anything on the Super Bowl. Neither of us are at Radio Row. So really, there's only one question. Chiefs and Eagles. Is it a must-win game?
Okay. Is it really for the Eagles? Let's get into this for a second. Can the Eagles get away with a loss here? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, Sirianni, nobody really knows who he is. Making it to the Super Bowl, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have to win. Are we really going to crush Sirianni and Hurts if they lose? Not a must-win for the Eagles.
All right, must-win for Chiefs.
Must-win for the Chiefs.
You don't want to drop to 1-3 if you're Andy Reid.
Yeah, can't go 1-3. Got to go 2-2. Okay. So not a must-win for the Eagles.
Okay, must-win for the Chiefs, not necessarily for the Eagles. There it is.
Yeah, you heard it here first. ZASLOW Show 2.0.
There it is.
Anywhere else.
There it is. 2 p.m., 2 to 4 p.m., trade deadline show, SiriusXM NBA Radio, Evan Cohen, Brian Geltzeiler, and of course my favorite show every morning at 6 a.m., Morning Men, SiriusXM, Mad Dog Radio. Did you watch real quick here? Did you watch Mike and the Mad Dog First Take?
Of course. Come on.
It was good. It was fun, right?
It was a tricky spot because I actually think they're better when nothing's going on, and they had everything going on. It was the day that Brady retired.
Oh, who knows what they had on tap? They had to scrap the whole show.
Right. So I think in a weird way, you almost want to see Mike and Chris on a Wednesday in the middle of July, nothing going on, let them make something out of nothing. That's why they were the best ever, right? I'm not saying everyone can do Brady retirement well. Everyone can't do Brady retirement well. But what they can do that no one can do is the middle of nowhere, nothing going on, make something out of nothing. They're phenomenal. And you didn't get that from them in that spot.
And you know what?
I thought about the same thing. Very good. And this ZASLOW guy, I went on with him. Good advice. Not bad.
He's very good to me, that Chris Russo, the few times that I've had him on the show. He's very, very good to me.
Good boy, Johnny.
Excellent job, Evan. Really good work out of you. Again, 6 a.m., 6 to 9 a.m. every morning, SiriusXM, Mad Dog Radio, Morning Men with Mike Babchek, Willie Colon, my favorite show. Everybody knows that. Anything else? Anything else you got to promote here?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen to Zaz's show. Support his advertising partners.
Oh, they're wonderful. You said it all, Evan. Excellent job. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Zaz.